Hi, I'm Olivia Dance,
And I'm Samuel Magana.
and today we'll be discussing the Nation of Islam and the FBI. The dossier the FBI compiled for Muhammad Ali, an African American heavyweight boxer widely considered to be the greatest of all time, was over 100 pages long. He was targeted for neutralization starting in 1964, meaning that the FBI was cleared to use any number of methods to attempt to ensure the destruction of Ali's life. All this was because of Ali's potential relationship with the religious group the Nation of Islam, an Islamic and black nationalist group that became of interest to the FBI starting in the 1940s because of supposed mutual support between the Nation of Islam, also called the Allah Temple of Islam, and the Japanese government. The heavyweight champion was known to donate heavily to the organization, as well as promoting the NOI's values in the media. It was concluded by the FBI that the NOI were associating with the Japanese government. This began a period of surveillance regarding key figures within the NOI, such as W.D. Fard, who founded the NOI. Various other members, like Elijah Muhammad, were being monitored by the Immigration and Naturalization Service for unpatriotic activities. The U.S. government was fearful of Japan's ability to utilize fragile racial relations within the United States and weaponize them over the course of World War II in order to secure victory for the Axis powers. Seeing as the NOI is mainly composed of African American Muslims, members were dealing with the reality of occupying the intersection of two oppressed identities within the U.S. As people with these identities are directly subjected to oppression, racism, and Islamophobia within the United States, they are more likely to be harshly critical of American institutions, critical stances which could be used by foreign governments to sow internal hostility and impede the U.S.'s ability to focus on international conflicts. Furthermore, the NOI considered themselves a separate nation trapped within the United States, and had various policies that advocated for the murder of devils, which is how those within the organization referred to white people. These aspects of the NOI made the religious organization more susceptible to external attempts to position the NOI against the United States government. As such, the FBI attempted to bring down the NOI by prosecuting all draft age males, as the NOI members protested the war by refusing to register for the draft. 90% of draft age males were incarcerated, adding to issues within the American prison system of disproportionately incarcerated black men.
As the Second World War came and went, the FBI eventually targeted the NOI once again during the Cold War for involvement with the Communist Party, and the FBI at various times implied that the NOI was an easy and gullible subject of manipulation by the Communist Party. During this time, the FBI had also begun to increasingly monitor Malcolm X, an NOI member who was becoming increasingly more prominent within NOI leadership. He and Elijah Muhammad were placed on the FBI Security Index in 1952, meaning they were deemed eligible for arrest and detention if the U.S.'s security was seriously threatened at any time. The FBI leaked material, including fake news stories, to prevent foreign nations from welcoming Malcolm X. His trips abroad were closely monitored. Furthermore, the FBI used information regarding the number and parentage of Elijah Muhammad's children to sow distrust between him and Malcolm X. In the process of bringing down the NOI, the FBI began a letter writing campaign regarding Muhammad's children and also spreading the narrative that Malcolm X was trying to take over the NOI. This spread enough distrust between Muhammad and Malcolm X that Muhammad cleared and forces to kill Malcolm X, and years later, Malcolm X was assassinated. By 1970, the NOI was effectively neutralized. In more recent times, the United States government has directly and indirectly continued to target minority communities. During the 1980s, the Reagan administration was widely believed to have caused widespread use of crack cocaine in African American communities. Through the funneling of illicit drugs, the U.S. government used crack cocaine to continue to control African American communities after segregation. The introduction of the notorious drug into inner cities caused crime rates in underprivileged communities to grow exponentially. Nations across the world have taken note of the U.S.'s harassment towards the African American community. For example, in 2021, during the Black Lives Matter movement, Chinese diplomats publicly criticized the U.S.'s history of allowing police brutality against African Americans. Moreover, the attacks on September 11th resulted in increased discrimination against the Arab and Muslim communities. For example, the New York Police Department spied on mosques throughout the city after the attack on the World Trade Center. The surveillance was proven to be based on ethnicity and religion, targeting vulnerable Muslim communities. All in all, minority communities will continue to be a constant target for the U.S. government as long as the narrative of the U.S. being a white Protestant nation continues to dwindle. Thank you.